welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you my 1 month postpartum update and 1 month baby update, and we're just going to do it together because I don't feel like there's that much to share to do 2 separate videos. So if you want to see that, then just keep watching. Okay, so I am currently nursing baby Lukka. He decided to wake up as soon as I sat down to film this video. So he is nursing, so if you hear him gulping away, that's what that is. So sorry. But I am breastfeeding him. He does get formula and breast milk, so I nurse him and then I give him 1 or 2 bottles of formula a day depending on what we have going on. So I'll start with postpartum. So as far as that goes, I haven't been doing like weekly updates. I'm just going to do like monthly updates, because weekly would just be too much on me right now. So if you're new here, I am a mother of 3. I'm also a foster mom. So I have 3 kids currently, and we have foster kids in and out of our home. We do not currently have any placements, but we did take a respite. We've taken 2 respite placements since he's been born. He was born July 2nd, 2019. And I have that video linked below if you want to see the vlog and the birth story. I'll link those at the end and in the description if you'd like to check those out if you haven't seen those yet. But yeah, so I'll just go through week by week as far as postpartum went for me, what I can remember. So the first week was pretty rough as usual. Luckily, he's a very easy baby, so it wasn't so bad, and Wes took off 2 weeks from work to help me out because I don't have family that lives close by. We live really far from all of our family. We have some friends here, but they work, so all I had was Wes, and a few of our friends brought us meals and things, which I was so grateful for, and that was so sweet of them. And if you have a friend who just delivered a baby, I highly recommend bringing them a home-cooked meal. They will be so thankful, I'm sure. But yeah, the first week I did tear a little bit, so I was pretty sore down there. I had a natural V-back, so I was pretty sore downstairs. And I've been using the Earth Mama Perennial Spray and the Earth Mama Perennial Balm. And let me tell you, that balm is amazing. If you're postpartum and you haven't tried that, the Earth Mama Balm is where it's at. I haven't heard anyone else mention it, just the spray. So if you have not tried the balm and you had a vaginal birth, I highly recommend the balm. Yes, baby, what do you need? Okay, Miss Reagan's been playing dress up. She's going to come in here now while I'm filming. So the first week, like I said, I tore a little bit. And I was sore down there. I was having a lot of cramps, of course bleeding. I was exhausted from labor and delivery.
Mama,
yes.
All my popsicle.
Very good. Was it yummy? Yeah. So my mom did come down right before I delivered. So she was here for about a week before and after I delivered him, and that was so helpful. She didn't stay a full week after I delivered him. She stayed a few days after. She did end up taking my 2 older daughters back to Virginia with her for 2 weeks. So that first 2 weeks was just me and Wes and the baby, and we got to bond with him and kind of get into a flow and a routine with him before we transitioned fully to 3 kids. So that was very helpful, and I'm so grateful she did that. It was kind of hard being away from the girls, but it was nice to be able to have that one-on-one time with him and figure out, you know, how he was and his needs, and kind of get in a schedule and routine with him, and then implement the girls into that a little easier. It was just a much easier transition to 3 kids, I think. So that's how the first 2 weeks went. I tried to take it easy. Wes helped me since he wasn't working, and we just kind of alternated between feeding. I had some cramping, and I've been using that Wish Garden After Ease. I'll link that below if you want to get some for yourself. It's just like a herbal remedy type thing, all natural kind of thing, but I do think it helps some. So I did have lots of cramping. I was very sore down there and made some padsicles, and I was so grateful that I did. And yeah, I just used those and some witch hazel pads and the Earth Mama spray. And I did try to like sleep when baby slept and just rest. Me and Wes, we watched all of Stranger Things because I hadn't started it yet. So we watched all of Stranger Things for like that whole 2 weeks, and we finished up all 3 seasons of that, and it was really good. I love that show. So if you haven't seen Stranger Things, highly recommend that if you're into that kind of those kind of shows. And yeah, we just enjoyed baby, got into a schedule with him, sort of. I did not get any sleep last night, so if I look really tired in this video, that's why. Our worst night of sleep was last night. So I'd also been using that Huckleberry app to track all his feedings and things. So I highly recommend that app. It is free. It's called Huckleberry. And yeah, let's see. My milk came in around day 4, so as you know, I had been nursing him, and my milk finally came all the way in around day 4. I started pumping. I only pump like once a day or once every other day. I don't pump like on a pumping schedule because I am home with him, so I just nurse him on demand. Which at first it was only every 3 hours, and then it was like every 2 hours. And then he started like cluster feeding more, and now I pretty much nurse him. He sleeps for a little while, and then when he wakes up, he's ready to nurse again. So, and he's definitely been cluster feeding more this week. We 2 days postpartum, I took him to his newborn checkup, and we had some people visit us, bring us food. We had my dad came to visit. Wes's brother came to visit, and things like that, which is in my last vlog, Newborn's First Week. You can see more there. After I gave birth, I did start to have a lot of headaches. Like daily I was having migraines, and I actually have one right now. It's not a full-blown migraine yet, but I do have a headache, and I've been having headaches every day, which was really scaring me. I went for a 2-week checkup because he got circumcised by my midwife when he was 2 weeks old, and she checked me down there, and I talked to her about the headaches, and she said I'm probably just not eating and drinking enough, which is probably true. I kind of put myself on the back burner. Once the kids came back at 2 weeks, I was putting myself last, like feeding the baby, taking care of the kids. Wes went back to work, so it got a little more complicated, and I was just forgetting about myself, or I just wasn't making time for myself because I was so busy trying to catch up on housework because I'd been laying around for 2 weeks and trying to take care of 3 kids, and I was just putting myself last. So I'm trying to do a little better about eating better and drinking more water. I've always been terrible at drinking water, so I think the headaches are from dehydration. And I was forgetting to take my prenatal vitamins, and I was just getting depleted before I realized it very quickly. So I need to do better about that because I am still having, there's only been 1 day where I have not had a headache, and it was great, but the headaches are back, so I definitely need to keep a check on that and try to drink more water. And it's so hot in Georgia, so I definitely am getting dehydrated. And you need to drink more water when you're nursing anyway to be able to produce milk. And just with him cluster feeding, I was just getting depleted really fast, I think. So where I tore, they did not stitch me up because she said it was such a small tear, like maybe like 1 centimeter, if that. So she didn't feel the need to stitch me up, but I do feel like things are not exactly right down there. When I went for that 2-week checkup, she said everything looked like it had healed, but I do feel a little more open downstairs. This is TMI. It's a postpartum update. I'm sorry. But you can fast forward to the baby update or whatever. Click off this video if you don't want to hear about my... So, I do feel a little more open down there, and when I stand up, like from sitting, each time I feel like I get a tiny little air bubble, and that was kind of freaking me out a little bit because I know you're not supposed to like get air in there, especially like when you're pregnant or right after giving birth, because you know it's rare, but there is a risk of embolism, and that I have anxiety and panic attacks, so my mind always goes to like the worst case scenario, and that's all I can think every time I get a little air bubble, and I'm just like, okay, you're gonna be fine, but it worries me, so it's something I'm gonna keep an eye on, keep a check on, and mention to my midwife again next time I go. Because last time when I told her, she didn't seem to think it was a huge deal, and she said everything looked like it was healed and fine, but I go back in 2 weeks and I'm going to mention it again if it's not any better by then. It's not like a huge concern, like it's not like the worst thing in the world, but I just feel like things are not exactly right down there. But like I said, she said everything looked like it had healed and everything was fine, so I don't know. So there's that. That's like my main concerns, is that and the headaches. But other than that, I've been doing well. I don't know my weight because I don't have a scale in my house, but I feel like I've lost most of the weight. I do not fit in my pants or my shorts, so I've still been wearing like stretchy and loose fitting clothes and my maternity clothes. I can wear all of my tops, other than the tight fitting ones, because my milk did come in and my breasts have like tripled in size. So if I'm looking a little bustier in my videos, that's why, because my cleavage, like my boobs have like seriously tripled in size since being pregnant and my milk coming in after giving birth. So my breasts are huge. I've had some issues with engorgement, so I quit pumping as much. I'm only pumping when I feel engorged or when I feel like he hasn't emptied my breast, just to relieve some of that engorgement. So that's pretty much everything as far as postpartum, I think. I may be forgetting something, I'm not sure. But I think that's pretty much everything. Like I said, I do go back in 2 weeks for my 6-week checkup, and we should be cleared for like sex and stuff, and I'm not even ready. That scares me because after I had Reagan, my second child, sex was really, really painful because I did have a episiotomy and I had stitches, and once it healed, you have that scar tissue, so it felt really, really tight, really uncomfortable for a while. So but I didn't have stitches this time, and I only tore a little, but just the thought of anything down there scares me right now. Like I'm not ready. So luckily my husband's a gentleman and he took it really easy on me last time, and I really appreciated that. But still, even with being easy and gentle, going into that again, it was still really sore and uncomfortable. I wouldn't say like painful, but just very uncomfortable and scary. So there's that coming up in the near future. That will probably be in the next update. But yeah, so as far as baby, he weighed 6 pounds 15 ounces at birth. He had lost a couple of ounces by the time we left the hospital, but at his newborn appointment he was already back up to birth weight. And then at his 2-week appointment he weighed 8 pounds 8 ounces. Yeah, he's a super chill baby, or he was. He's very easy compared to my other kids, I feel like, or maybe I just know more about what I'm doing this time around. But it felt like it was really easy to get into a schedule with him. He was eating, every 3 hours, sleeping for a few hours. It was just very easy. He hated diaper changes at first, but okay, I'm gonna go and switch sides. Burp him a little bit. Nice sugar. Was that good? Was that good milk? You gonna burp for me? He's really hard to burp, and he gets hiccups. Like, he got hiccups a lot in my belly, and he still gets hiccups a lot. Like, after every feeding, he gets hiccups. So I had been using the gripe water occasionally. I don't use it every time, but I had been using the Little Remedies gripe water for that, and it seems to help. At first, as far as nursing, he was nursing really well at the hospital. He did have like a shallow latch, like, yeah, it was like flattening my nipple, and it was really sore and getting cracked and sore, but that's kind of expected in the beginning. But I did talk to the lactation consultant, and she kind of helped me with that. And once we got home, I had a nipple shield from when I had Reagan, because I had the same issue with her. She had some nipple confusion, and I think it's because we did introduce the bottle and pacifier. You know, they'll have a little nipple confusion. But I want my kids to take a bottle, because sometimes I just don't feel like nursing. I'm touched out, or they've already nursed and they're still hungry if you're not making enough milk. So I give my kids formula too. They get an organic formula. So they don't get that every feed. They get it like once or twice a day. I was using the nipple shield like the first 2 weeks with him, and then he doesn't seem to need it anymore. He was like block feeding, I think that's what it's called, where they like only eat one breast at a time, like only nurse on one side at a time, and then he seemed to be full, but then he was getting hungry faster. And I've heard that block feeding can like reduce your milk supply too, so I've been trying to like at least offer both breasts even if he seems full, just so I can keep my supply up. But yeah, he seems to only want one breast at a time lately, and then he's getting hungry faster, and then he's just wanting to like cluster feed all the time for like the last week. But then he gets cozy, and then he falls asleep at the breast, and I'll have to like wake him up, or you know, I'll let him sleep, and then I'll have to feed him sooner, which is fine, but it's just harder for me to get anything done and when I don't have those larger breaks in between. He was born, I actually had a respite placement when he was born. It was the teenager we fostered last year. We had her for the first week, so she was actually here to help some, and then we had to take her back home. And then we did take another respite placement for foster care, 2 little boys that were 3 and 5 for 4 days. So when he was 2 weeks old, we had a respite placement for 4 days, and it was really difficult taking care of. I thought I was ready, but they had so much energy, and they didn't understand because they're so young. They didn't understand, like, I just had a baby, and I was like slower to do things and get like, they were kind of demanding, like if they wanted a snack or a drink, they wanted it like right away. They're 3 and 5, and they didn't understand that I couldn't like walk as fast or do things right away when I'm trying to care for the baby that they're not used to being around. So those 4 days were kind of hard with the respite placement, so we're going to wait a little longer to say yes to another placement, just because we have a new baby and I wanted to help, and I thought, you know, it's only 4 days and they're little, so it shouldn't be too bad, but it was kind of hard. They were cute as can be, and I have a little footage of that in a vlog, but yeah, I think it was too soon to say yes to a placement. Is for like the last few days, he's been really stuffy, and we went to like a sunflower field to take family pictures, and I don't know if there was like something there that like triggered his allergies, but he's been so stuffy like ever since, and I feel really bad. And I also took him to church, so I don't know if he like picked up like a little cold there or if it's just allergies, but he's been like super stuffy, so he's having trouble eating and sleeping because of the mucus. I've been like suctioning his nose and stuff, which helps some, but he's the last 2 nights, like, we've gotten no sleep because of that, so it's been really difficult. And I did take him to church for the first time when he was 3 weeks old, and he did great. Melina Ciciotti, I don't know how to say her last name, but I love her channel. I love her. Check out her channel. It's a larger channel, but she's a Christian mama. But she did a video on how to take your newborn to church, and I'm so glad I watched that, because she wears her baby in her tuck and bundle wrap to church, and she can nurse in that and whatever. And you know, I'm just not ready to put him in the nursery yet, so I just wore him, and he slept the whole service. He did great, like, it was amazing. And I took the respite placement and my kids, and I took 5 kids to church, and it was a breeze. I thought it was gonna be so hard, but it was a breeze because I just wore him and he did great. So I hope that continues to work. I definitely feel like he's starting to get a little spoiled to being held, because you know, if he's awake and I try to like put him in a swing or put him in the rock and play or put him in the bassinet or whatever, put him down anywhere, he starts to fuss, and as soon as I pick him up he stops, and he's starting to get all my babies get a little spoiled. They love their mama, love being snuggled, and I love snuggling them, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely been different having 3 kids, because you know, my older kids need my attention, especially my 4-year-old. She still very much needs her mommy as well for things, and it's just been hard, and I've been feeling very stretched thin lately because my husband needs my attention, the baby needs my attention, all my kids need my attention, like everyone needs my attention, and then trying to keep up with the channel, because this is like my part-time job. It's a hobby and I love it, but I do make a small income from this, so I try to like be consistent and update you guys and stay on top of filming, and I just enjoy it. Like that's my thing, and that's like self-care for me, is filming videos, doing something that I enjoy doing, and I love documenting my family and being able to look back on these videos and watch my kids grow up essentially, and things that I might have forgotten about are on film. So I really enjoy doing the videos and just trying to keep up with that, and you know, take care of my home and keep my home picked up and clean, because we are foster parents. We have caseworkers that'll be coming in and out, and I want to have a nice, clean, presentable house when we have company or caseworkers, or you know, or foster kids coming in. I want them to have a clean room to sleep in when they come, and you know, just trying to keep keeping the house picked up, and not spotless, of course, but just keeping it picked up has been a challenge, because he wants to be held all the time, and I can put him in the wrap, but it's still, I have to be careful with him in the wrap. I don't want him to fall out, or I don't want to bump him into anything. Oh my goodness, you okay? See, he's very stuffy and mucusy. Bless your heart. We still have not figured out his like eye color. He has the same color hair as Reagan, but both of my girls have blue eyes, and at first glance his eyes look kind of blue, but they also look kind of hazel, and in some sunlight they look kind of brown. So I have no idea what his eye color is going to be yet. Here he is. Let me zoom you in so you can see him. Oh, there's a burp. His face gets all red pretty easy too when he's like, oh, go with your spit up. Let me find a burp cloth. He loves it outside. Like I can take him out in his stroller and he absolutely loves it outside. Like if he's fussy, like that is like a surefire way to calm him down, is to put him in the stroller and take him outside, unless he's like really hungry. That's really the only time he fusses, or when he's getting a diaper change. He does not love diaper changes. Sometimes he does great, sometimes he cries. But usually he's really just very laid back. As long as he has a full tummy, he's laid back, unless he's like getting sleepy, and then I can just rock him or swaddle him, and he's fairly easy to go to sleep. But yeah, just the past 2 days he's having trouble breathing well, so that's been a challenge. We didn't get much sleep last night or the night before, so we're just like running on caffeine and wishes. So he's so precious though. So I think that is everything for our 1-month baby and postpartum update. I thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, it would mean so much to me if you would subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll be updated